Being an influencer is easy. Or so we thought.
I've put myself in a lot of situations where I've needed to apologize for my past actions.
Done a lot of things in my past.
I'm simply here to apologize.
Influencers have a dark secret, one that they'll never tell you. Except, I will. We've all seen the typical day in the life of a YouTuber. Carefree, fun, do what you want when you want. It's easy to see why people have an outside perspective that creating YouTube videos is easy and fun. But the question is, why do creators burn out and take so many breaks if this lifestyle is that easy?
I've been thinking about YouTube for 4 years straight. There's not been a day or an hour that has gone by where something about it has not come into my head. And whether it's like, how do I want to evolve my videos? You know, what am I going to film next? Like, for the past 4 years, you know, I've just been in this hamster wheel of working and working and working and working and working and, you know, kind of exploiting myself at times to just do as much as I possibly could.
There's two factors you'll never hear about when it comes to a YouTuber's lifestyle: business and sustainability. Let's start with business. Understanding the lifestyle of a YouTube creator requires you to understand a little bit about business itself, mainly income and expenses. When you're creating YouTube content, the majority of your income sources come from viewership. Now, don't get me wrong, this is no different than any other businesses. Grocery stores don't keep making money if they run out of stock, and that should apply to YouTube as well. If you stop uploading for a week, you should stop earning. This isn't unjustified, but it does explain where some of the uncertainties and stress can come in. To really highlight this point, let's look at Netflix viewership statistics from Q1 2020 and Q1 2022. In 2020, they literally doubled expectations because of the pandemic. But this quarter, on the other hand, subscriptions were half of what they expected. That sort of instability applies to every form of media, YouTube included. And that level of instability makes it really tricky to run a business on YouTube. You can't just pay people less and your rent won't just magically go down. That instability needs to be made up somewhere, and that can add a lot of stress to the creator.
I feel like it just gets more difficult like every day.
Especially when you think about the fact that a lot of creators don't start creating to become business people. They start creating to create, and then they become business people. Now, sustainability. The first factor to consider is this crazy stat. 18 to 29-year-olds are the largest group of users on social media, meaning a lot of the creators are especially young. Looking at the Charli D'Amelios and the Addison Rays of the world, it's understandable to see why the pressure is difficult to handle. Being that young with the pressure of employees, brands, wages, expenses, and so much more is very new to our generation, especially paired with sudden growth that a lot of these new influencers experience. Even Eric, who has 6.5 million subscribers today, had nearly 0 2 years ago. Meteoric rises are the name of the game in this industry. And then you think about the obligations that these creators have, and it reveals how hard it is to sustain without building out a lot of support and a lot of processes to reduce your workload. If you upload a video to YouTube once a week, there's a lot that goes into the process. First, you need to come up with an idea, and for me that takes about an hour. Then you actually have to write it, and writing that idea for me takes about 3 to 6 hours dependent on how complex the script is. This one took me about 5 hours. Then you gotta plan it, and then film the video, and filming for me takes only about an hour max. And there's editing. Editing takes anywhere from 8 to 12 hours on videos like this, and then you have to make a thumbnail, and for me that takes 1 to 2 hours, and then you have to post it, and then you have to reply to comments, and so on and so forth. There's a lot that goes into it. Great, well that's it, right? I mean, that's not so bad. Like I said, if you're making an income from YouTube, you need to work with brands to get brand deals, meaning you're sending emails, coordinating with the brand, creating the content, getting approvals, and so much more. It is incredibly intensive on the creator, especially since, unlike traditional TV, the viewer gets really attached to the creator themselves. So it's not like someone random can just pop in and make a guest appearance without it being weird. Trying to do all of that alone makes the sustainability plummet, and the amount of work that's required to grow and maintain that growth on YouTube just keeps going up. So it's a never-ending cycle of constant stress. And when it comes to taking time off, a lot of creators struggle with that because it means people might forget about them, they'll lose income, they'll lose influence, whatever. Consistency is incredibly important on social media, so taking a break isn't often an option. Obviously, the larger your channel gets, the easier it is to maintain this, but as I'll tell you later, it's pretty hard to get to that point. Okay, so maybe now you understand why the lifestyle isn't quite as glamorous as some people make it out to be. If this lifestyle is that difficult, why would anybody want it? The simple answer is that a lot of creators spend their weeks creating highlight reels of their lives, only sharing the most crazy, exciting 5 to 10 minutes of their week. Which, as we discussed, that can actually be quite deceiving given how much is actually going into their day-to-day lives. There's a myriad of reasons why people would want to be YouTube creators. From people looking for a bit more freedom, to travel the world, to work when they want, to get out of the 9 to 5, or people trying to build a personal brand, or even people like me who just like creating videos. There's a ton of different reasons why someone might want to do this as a job. But even crazier than that is that if you ask a kid what their dream job is now, you'd be quite surprised to hear what they say. When I was about 10, I probably would have told you I wanted to be a teacher or an architect. Once I got older, I learned that you can make money from YouTube, so now my two biggest passions are teaching people how to do things and making YouTube videos, which, I mean, kind of what I'm doing right now. But ever since I found out you could make money from YouTube, I wanted to do that as a job. I can't be alone. I found a study from The Sun from back in 2017 that reported that 34% of children wanted to be YouTube creators when they got older. The rest of the top 5 was vlogger with 18%, musician with 16%, actor 15%, and filmmaker 13%. The biggest takeaway is financial, location, and creative freedom. As a Gen Z kid with Gen X parents, I can say that a lot of my generation was influenced by the 2008 recession. A lot of kids saw their parents struggling financially from 2007 to 2010 even. So if millennials and Gen Z want to prevent what happened to our parents, financial freedom and financial stability has a massive appeal. And I think that's what the next generation is going to want the most, and that's why they want to do this as a career. With the internet, dreams are much easier to accomplish, and the kids in the next generation never knew a life without the internet. So just imagine the things that they're going to do. An even more interesting stat that I found from CNBC is that children nowadays are 70% more likely to connect with a YouTube creator over a traditional celebrity. Replace Sweet Life, SpongeBob, Drake and Josh, and Wizards of Waverly Place with Logan Paul, David Dobrik, and more. YouTubers post more often and they make you feel like you're a part of their friend group, making it a lot easier to relate to them. And then when you compare that to this clip of Kendall Jenner trying to cut a cucumber, pretty easy to figure out why celebrities feel a little bit different than the rest of us. The bottom line is that kids can picture themselves making YouTube videos a lot easier than they can picture themselves doing anything that would make them like a celebrity. It appears to be an easy pathway to that fame and glory that everybody wants as a kid.
I've said it several times before, but I don't want you guys turning up outside my house whatsoever. If I'm staying at a hotel or an apartment or anything like that, I don't want you guys turning up outside it, okay? It's just a little thing called privacy.
Let's talk about instant access. Go into your browser and type in how many videos are on YouTube. Boom, 800 million. At the click of a button, you have an answer to any question on the internet. But as with anything, there's a dark side to that story. Harmful information is equally as prominent on the internet as any other information. If I type in, for example, Drake's Toronto address, I'll see that it's, well, I'm not going to share that even though everyone knows where it is, but it's that easy. It's important that we use the information that we have respectfully, especially when it comes from the creators that we watch on YouTube. I don't think I need to tell you that that's an awful idea, but for some reason people think it's okay to just show up at a creator's house. And now for the darkest secret of all that a lot of people probably won't tell you: how long it takes to make money from YouTube. In order to join the partner program on YouTube and start earning ad revenue, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Okay, you're there, perfect. But even then, you're not going to be making much money from that at all. Definitely not enough to pay rent, let alone build out a team. It takes a lot of time, a consistent and constant amount of effort, a ton of creativity to upload consistently enough in order to make any money from YouTube at all. And a lot of people just aren't willing to stick through it. And I get it, but if you're willing to learn and you're patient enough to see it through, you should definitely give it a shot. Just ask yourself why you're doing it. I hope you enjoyed this analysis type video. I'm going to be working towards getting a video just like this out every single week. For now, I'm going to start with once every 2 weeks, but we're going to get there. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe and share this video with a friend. All right, with that being said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.